The vast emptiness of space held countless secrets, but none more surprising than the story of humanity's unexpected rise. On a quiet Tuesday morning in the Global Defense Headquarters, Park Jin-woo stared at the holographic displays showing Earth's meager defense capabilities. The alien Confederation had always considered humans as nothing more than primitive creatures barely worthy of acknowledgement. Jin-woo remembered the diplomatic reports. Alien ambassadors would laugh during interstellar conferences, pointing at human technological achievements with barely concealed contempt. Their advanced civilizations had weapons that could destroy entire planets, while humans still struggled with basic space travel. Massive battleships from races like the Volt Collective and the Nexus Empire towered over anything Earth could produce. In the underground research facility, scientists worked tirelessly. Kim Yura, a brilliant weapons engineer, examined strange prototype designs that seemed more like desperate experiments than actual defense mechanisms. Her team had been working on adaptive technologies that could potentially change how warfare was conducted. The Confederation's military database classified humans as a Class F emerging species, essentially a civilization barely worth monitoring. Their technological gap was so significant that most advanced races considered human weapons equivalent to children's toys. Massive energy cannons, quantum disruptors, and genetic warfare technologies were standard for most galactic civilizations. Humans had basic missile systems and experimental electromagnetic weapons. That morning, everything would change. A small alien scout ship entered Earth's solar system, conducting what they believed would be a routine reconnaissance mission. The pilot, a veteran from the Volt Collective, had been assigned to document human technological capabilities. He expected nothing more than collecting basic data about a primitive civilization. Jin-woo's monitoring systems detected the incoming vessel. Unlike previous encounters, something felt different. The way the ship moved suggested more than a simple survey mission. Advanced sensors tracked its trajectory, revealing subtle modifications that didn't match standard Volt Collective design patterns. In the Global Defense Control Room, tension built. Commanders exchanged worried glances. Years of being considered weak had created a psychological defensive mechanism within humanity. They knew they were underestimated, and that would become their greatest advantage. The alien scout ship began, scanning Earth's defensive grid. Its advanced technological systems prepared to map out human capabilities. What it didn't know was that Yura's team had been developing something extraordinary, a defensive system that could adapt and learn in milliseconds. As the scout ship completed its initial scan, something unexpected happened. The human defense grid didn't just respond, it anticipated. Complex algorithms developed by Yura's team began analyzing the alien ship's scanning frequencies, creating countersignatures that confused its advanced technology. Jin-woo watched in amazement as the human systems began to dance around the alien technological probes. It wasn't just defense, it was an intricate ballet of technological innovation. The scout ship's systems became increasingly confused, unable to penetrate the adaptive human networks. The Volt Collective pilot realized something was wrong. His sophisticated scanning equipment started producing nonsensical data. Patterns he had seen thousands of times during reconnaissance missions suddenly became unpredictable. Humans were supposed to be predictable, linear in their technological approach. This was different. What the aliens didn't understand was human creativity. Where other civilizations followed strict technological protocols, humans invented, adapted, and reimagined. Their weakness became their strength, an ability to think beyond established technological paradigms. The scout ship's commander began to panic. What was supposed to be a simple survey mission was turning into something entirely unexpected. The human defense systems weren't just blocking scans. They were actively learning and developing counter-strategies in real time. Jin-woo allowed himself a small smile. This was just the beginning. Humanity was about to show the galaxy that being underestimated was the most dangerous mistake any civilization could make. As the alien scout ship retreated, confused and overwhelmed, a new chapter in human history began. The Confederation would soon learned that the species they had ignored and mocked was about to become something they never expected. The first seeds of human technological revolution had been planted, and nobody, not even the most advanced alien civilizations, saw it coming. In the quiet research facility, Yura continued her work, unaware that her team had just changed the course of galactic history. Humanity's journey from being a technological joke to a legendary civilization was just beginning. The sky turned crimson as massive Volk invasion ships descended upon Earth. Their commanders believed the conquest would take mere hours, a simple extermination of what they considered a primitive species. Massive energy weapons charged, ready to obliterate human defenses in seconds. Jinwoo Park stood in the Global Defense Control Center, his eyes fixed on the incoming threat. Behind him, a team of experts prepared for what seemed like an impossible defense. The aliens had technology centuries ahead of human capabilities. Their weapons could slice through planetary shields like paper, their ships capable of destroying entire continents with a single blast. The Volk invasion force consisted of 3 massive battleships and 17 support vessels. Each ship carried enough firepower to eliminate human civilization multiple times over. Their commander, a veteran of 1,000 conquests, approached Earth with absolute confidence. Humans were nothing more than another species to be cataloged and eliminated. What the Volk didn't know was that humanity had been preparing. Yura Kim's adaptive weapon systems hummed with unexpected potential. These weren't ordinary weapons. They were living technologies that could learn, adapt, and transform in milliseconds. As the first wave of alien attacks began, something extraordinary happened. Human defense systems didn't just respond, they anticipated. Missile batteries shifted in patterns that defied traditional combat logic. Electronic warfare units created complex interference that confused alien targeting systems. The first Volk energy blast struck what seemed to be a standard bow, defensive shield. But instead of simply blocking the attack, the shield absorbed the energy, analyzed its frequency, and began to develop a counter-signature. It was as if the human technology was learning in real time, transforming during the actual conflict. Jinwoo watched in amazement as human fighters, small, seemingly insignificant compared to alien vessels, began to move in patterns that seemed almost impossible. They weren't fighting like a traditional military. They were fighting like a living, breathing organism. Yura's psychological warfare algorithms came to life. The human defense systems began sending back complex signal patterns that did more than just defend. They actively disrupted alien communication networks. The Volk commanders found their own systems turning against them, creating confusion and chaos. One Volk battleship suddenly lost power, then another, not through direct destruction, but through a complex series of technological manipulations that essentially turned the ship's own systems against themselves. It was warfare beyond traditional understanding. The alien commander couldn't comprehend what was happening. Humans were supposed to be predictable. They were supposed to be weak. Yet here they were, transforming the entire concept of technological conflict. Human pilots used unconventional tactics. Where alien ships moved in precise, mathematically calculated patterns, human vessels moved with an unpredictability that seemed almost random. But it wasn't random. It was adaptive intelligence taken to its ultimate expression. Smaller human defense platforms began linking together, creating a massive interconnected defensive network that could respond to threats faster than any single system. Each platform learned from the others, sharing information and adapting in milliseconds. The psychological impact was devastating. The Volk invasion force, which had conquered hundreds of civilizations, found themselves completely overwhelmed by an opponent they couldn't understand or predict. By the battle's end, 2 Volk battleships were completely disabled. The remaining vessels retreated, their communication systems in complete disarray. What was supposed to be a simple conquest had turned into a humiliating defeat. Jinwoo looked at the tactical display. They had done more than just defend. They had sent a message to the entire galaxy. Humanity was not a species to be underestimated. Yura's team celebrated quietly. They knew this was just the beginning. The technologies they had developed would change warfare forever. No longer would humans be seen as a weak, primitive species. They had become something entirely unexpected. The Galactic Confederation would soon learn that humans were not just another species to be conquered. They were a force that could reshape the entire understanding of technological conflict. As the last Volk ships disappeared from Earth's orbit, a new era began. Humanity had just written its first chapter in galactic history, and it was written in the language of unexpected innovation. The aftermath of the Volk invasion changed everything. Alien technologies captured during the conflict became the foundation of humanity's most ambitious technological leap. Jinwoo Park's research team worked around the clock, dismantling and understanding every piece of alien equipment they could find. In a hidden research facility deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, scientists like Yura Kim began the impossible task of reverse engineering technologies that were centuries beyond human understanding. What would have taken other civilizations decades took humans mere weeks. Their ability to adapt, to think differently, became their most powerful weapon. The Galactic Confederation watched in horror. Reports flooded their communication networks about humanity's rapid technological progression. Alien scientists couldn't understand how a species they had considered primitive could advance so quickly. Human researchers were breaking fundamental technological rules that had governed galactic development for millennia. Yura discovered something extraordinary. Alien technologies weren't just advanced, they had inherent limitations. Humans saw these limitations as opportunities, not barriers. Where alien engineers followed strict design protocols, human researchers imagined completely new possibilities. Military training changed dramatically. Soldiers were no longer just trained to fight. They were trained to think, to adapt, to understand technologies at a fundamental level. Commander Elena Rodriguez developed training programs that transformed human military units into living, thinking weapon systems. The first hybrid human-alien weapon systems began to emerge. These weren't simple copies of alien technologies. They were entirely new creations that combined human creativity with captured alien designs, energy weapons that could change frequency mid-attack, defense systems that learned and adapted faster than any known technology. Alien technological databases began to show strange anomalies. Human researchers were accessing and understanding complex technological concepts at a rate that defied all known scientific understanding. What took alien civilizations generations to develop, humans accomplished in months. The psychological impact was devastating to the Galactic Confederation. Humanity wasn't just catching up. They were leapfrogging entire technological generations. Alien military strategists found their most advanced weapons becoming obsolete almost as quickly as they were developed. Jinwoo's team discovered a critical weakness in alien technological approaches. Most galactic civilizations developed technologies based on fixed mathematical models. Humans introduced chaos. Unpredictability became their greatest strength. They didn't just copy alien technologies, they reimagined them completely. Weapon systems began to emerge that defied traditional understanding. Adaptive armor that could change molecular structure in milliseconds. Communication networks that could reconstruct themselves faster than they could be attacked. Electronic warfare capabilities that turned alien technologies against themselves. The Confederation's most advanced races began to panic. Emergency meetings were called. How could a species they had ignored for centuries suddenly become a technological threat? Human innovation didn't follow any known technological progression. Yura developed a breakthrough that would change everything. A technological adaptation system that could learn and modify itself in real time. It wasn't just a weapon. It was a living technology that could think, adapt, and evolve faster than any known system in the galaxy. Military factories on Earth transformed. Where they once produced traditional weapons, they now created technologies that blurred the line between weapon and intelligence. Each piece of equipment became more than a tool. It became a thinking, adaptive system. Alien technological spies found themselves completely unable to understand human developments. Their most advanced scanning technologies produced nothing but confusion. Humanity had created something entirely new, a technological approach that didn't just challenge existing understanding, but completely rewrote it. The captured Volk technologies became the foundation of humanity's technological revolution. But they were just the beginning. Human researchers weren't interested in copying. They were interested in reimagining everything about technological development. As the months passed, the Galactic Confederation realized a terrifying truth. Humanity was no longer a species to be ignored or conquered. They had become something entirely unexpected, a technological force that could reshape the entire understanding of scientific development. The universe watched and waited. Humanity's technological escalation was just beginning, and nobody knew where it would lead. The stars seemed to hold their breath as the massive fleet gathered. Humanity's most advanced ships stood ready, a testament to their incredible technological transformation. Admiral Kang Hyok reviewed the tactical displays, knowing this battle would change everything. Hundreds of alien civilizations had gathered to teach humans a final lesson. The Galactic Confederation believed they could crush the human resistance once and for all. Their massive battleships stretched across light years, each vessel carrying enough firepower to destroy entire solar systems. Jinwoo Park watched from the primary command center. The human fleet looked small, almost insignificant compared to the overwhelming alien force. But those who underestimated humans before had paid a terrible price. The first wave of alien attacks came with devastating precision. Massive energy weapons fired, expecting to obliterate human defenses in moments. But something different happened. Human ships didn't just defend, they danced. Each human vessel moved with an impossible fluidity. They weren't following traditional combat patterns. Instead, they seemed to think, to anticipate, to predict alien movements before they happened. Weapon systems adapted in milliseconds, creating defensive and offensive strategies that defied all known military doctrine. Kim's adaptive technologies came to life. Human ships began to link together, creating a living, thinking network that could respond faster than any individual system. Where alien ships moved in precise, predictable patterns, human vessels became an unpredictable, adaptive organism. The alien commanders couldn't understand what was happening. Their most advanced targeting systems became confused. Human ships seemed to be in multiple places at once, their electronic signatures shifting and changing faster than any technology could track. One by one, alien battleships began to fall, not through direct destruction, but through a complex series of technological manipulations that turned the ship's own systems against themselves. It was warfare beyond traditional understanding. Admiral Kang implemented strategies that seemed almost impossible. Human ships would deliberately expose what looked like vulnerabilities, only to turn those apparent weaknesses into devastating attacks. The entire battle became a complex psychological chess match. Psychological warfare algorithms developed by human researchers began to broadcast complex signal patterns. These weren't just communication disruptions. They were designed to create confusion, doubt, and fear in alien command structures. The Galactic Confederation's most advanced races watched in horror. Their entire understanding of military conflict was being rewritten. Humans weren't just fighting. They were transforming the very concept of warfare. Massive alien battleships found themselves disabled not by direct attacks, but by complex technological manipulations. Their own defense systems became their greatest weakness. Human technologies could predict and exploit vulnerabilities faster than the ships could adapt. By the battle's midpoint, it became clear this was no longer just a conflict. It was a demonstration of humanity's technological supremacy. Each alien attack was anticipated, each strategy countered before it could be fully implemented. Jinwoo observed the tactical displays with calm precision. Humanity had done more than just defend. They had sent a message to the entire galaxy that would echo through generations. No longer would humans be considered a weak, primitive species. The final hours of the battle became a perfect demonstration of human innovation. Alien command structures collapsed. Their most advanced technologies turned into useless collections of metal and energy. Human ships moved with a living intelligence that defied all previous understanding of military conflict. As the last alien vessels retreated, a profound silence fell. The Galactic Confederation had learned its most important lesson. Humanity was not a species to be conquered or controlled. They were a force of innovation that could reshape entire civilizations. Admiral Kang allowed himself a small smile. This was more than a victory. This was a complete transformation of galactic understanding. Humans had proven that creativity, adaptability, and unexpected thinking were the most powerful weapons in the universe. The universe would never be the same again. Humanity had written its name in the stars, not as a conquered species, but as a civilization that could change everything. The galaxy looked different now. Humanity had transformed from a forgotten species to the most respected civilization in the Galactic Confederation. Alien races that once laughed at human capabilities now studied their every technological movement. Jinwu Park sat in the central Galactic Council chamber, a place once closed to humans. Representatives from hundreds of advanced civilizations now listened when humans spoke. The transformation was complete, from being considered technological children to becoming the most innovative species in known space. Research centers across multiple planets began developing programs specifically designed to understand human technological approaches. What made humans so different? How could a species go from primitive to revolutionary in such a short time? The answer was simple yet complex. Humans didn't just copy technologies, they reimagined them. Where alien civilizations followed strict technological protocols, humans saw opportunities for complete reinvention. Their greatest weapon was not advanced equipment, but unbounded creativity. Military academies across the galaxy began incorporating human strategic thinking into their training programs. Alien commanders studied human battle tactics, trying to understand the unpredictable nature of human warfare. Every movement, every strategy became a lesson in innovation. Kim's research teams continued pushing technological boundaries. They weren't just developing weapons or defense systems. They were creating living technologies that could think, adapt, and evolve faster than any known system in the universe. The Confederation established the first interstellar human technology research center. Thousands of alien scientists worked alongside human researchers, trying to understand the unique human approach to technological development. What they discovered changed everything they knew about scientific progress. Diplomatic channels transformed. Humans were no longer seen as a potential threat, but as potential partners. Their ability to solve complex technological challenges made them invaluable to galactic development. Species that once planned to conquer humans now sought their collaboration. Admiral Kang Hyok became a legendary figure. His strategies during the critical battles were studied in military academies across hundreds of civilizations. Young alien commanders would learn about the human who had completely transformed understanding of military conflict. Economic systems changed. Human innovations began driving technological development across the galaxy. Trade routes shifted, with species competing to access human technological insights. What was once a marginalized civilization became the most sought-after technological partner. The psychological impact was profound. Alien races that had spent generations believing in their technological superiority now faced a humbling reality. Humans had proven that creativity and adaptability were more powerful than any advanced weapon system. Technological museums began displaying human innovations. Each piece told a story of unexpected thinking, of breaking established rules, of seeing possibilities where others saw limitations. Visitors would marvel at how a species could transform so quickly. Jinwu reflected on the journey. From being considered a joke to becoming the most respected civilization, humanity had written a story that would be remembered for generations. Their rise was not about conquest, but about demonstrating the power of human imagination. The first interstellar human colonies began to expand, not through military force, but through technological innovation that made previously uninhabitable planets suddenly livable. Humans didn't just explore space, they transformed it. Alien diplomatic reports described humans in new ways. No longer were they a primitive species to be feared or conquered. They were innovators, dreamers, a civilization that could look at complex challenges and see opportunities for complete transformation. Research showed that human technological approaches were fundamentally different. Where other civilizations saw technology as a fixed set of rules, humans saw it as a living, breathing system that could be constantly reimagined. This approach became their greatest strength. The Galactic Confederation realized that humanity represented something entirely new, not just another species, but a fundamental shift in understanding technological and cultural development. Humans had become more than a civilization. They were a force of innovation. As Jinwu looked out over the galactic map, he understood that their journey was just beginning. Humanity had transformed from being considered a technological joke to becoming the most legendary civilization in known space. The universe would continue to watch, learn, and be transformed by human creativity. And this was only the beginning.